Our next text for this week is What Do You Do with a Tail Like This by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. And this one is a Caldecott Honor book, which is always an incredible award to receive. And again, this one is nonfiction, so I'm going to dive right in on this one. What do you do with a tail like this? Animals use their noses, ears, tails, eyes, mouths, and feet in very different ways. See if you can guess which animal each part belongs to and how it is used. At the back of the book, you can find out more about these animals. What do you do with a nose like this? Which animals do you think these noses belong to? There's this one. This one. I think this one's pretty obvious. That one. And that one. If you're a platypus, you use your nose to dig in the mud. If you're a hyena, you find your next meal with your nose. If you're an elephant, you use your nose to give yourself a bath. If you're a mole, you use your nose to find your way underground. If you're an alligator, you breathe through your nose while hiding in the water. So I'm already really interested because I'm learning right now that animals use their noses for way more than just what we use our nose for. So talk about how some of these animals use their nose. What do you do with ears like these? And there's 5 different ones on this page. If you're a jackrabbit, you use your ears to keep cool. If you're a bat, you see with your ears. If you're a cricket, you hear with ears that are on your knees. If you're a hippopotamus, you close your ears when you're underwater. And if you're a humpback whale, you hear sounds hundreds of miles away. What do you do with a tail like this? If you're a giraffe, you brush off pesky flies with your tail. If you're a lizard, you break off your tail to get away. I had no idea they could take parts of their tail off. If you're a skunk, you lift your tail to warm that stinky spray is on the way. If you're a scorpion, your tail can give a nasty sting. If you're a monkey, you can hang from a tree by your tail. What do you do with eyes like these? How might an animal's eyes be used differently than what we use our eyes for? If you're an eagle, you spot tiny animals from high in the air. If you're a chameleon, you look 2 different ways at once. If you're a 4-eyed fish, you look above and below the water at the same time. If you're a horned lizard, you squirt blood out of your eyes. If you're a bush baby, you use your large eyes to see clearly at night. What do you do with feet like these? If you're a chimpanzee, you feed yourself with your feet. If you're a water strider, you walk on water. If you're a blue-footed bobby, you do a dance. If you're a mountain goat, you leap from ledge to ledge. If you're a gecko, you use your sticky feet to walk on the ceiling. What do you do with a mouth like this? If you're a pelican, you use your mouth as a net to scoop up fish. If you're a mosquito, you use your mouth to suck blood. If you're an egg-eating snake, you use your mouth to swallow eggs that are larger than your head. If you're an anteater, you capture termites with your long tongue. If you're an archer fish, you catch insects by shooting them down with a stream of water. Which of these animals do you think uses their mouth in the most interesting way? At the very end of the book, the author gave us a bunch of facts that expand more about what we were already talking about. So for noses, they gave us the same 5 animals again and explained their noses more. The same 5 animals for ears and tails. So I'm only going to read 1 or 2 of these so that I'm not reading all of these to you. So I'm going to read about the hyena. So the hyena, found in Africa and parts of Asia, is usually thought of as scavenger. Though hyenas are scavengers at times, they are also accomplished hunters. They work in packs to pull down grazing animals that are much larger than themselves. Weighing up to 150 pounds, a hyena has an exceptionally keen nose and is able to detect prey at a very great distance. That's really interesting. I also want to learn more about the tail of the lizard, how its tail can just fall off. So the 5-lined skink has a long tail that can break off if it's attacked. The wriggling tail can distract predators, allowing the lizard to get away. This skink, which is 5 to 8 inches long, lives in the eastern part of the United States and eats insects and worms. Losing its tail doesn't really hurt the lizard because it will soon grow a new one. So I just have 2 quick follow-up questions for you today. My first one is, why do you think the author wrote this book? What was the purpose of Steve and Robin writing this book? And my last question is, why do you think the author gave us more information and facts at the end of the book, like the parts I read about the hyena and the lizard? Why do you think the author added that in there? Thank you for listening.